glad I was gonna broach the topic eventually, but I'm glad you did. Well, you said dick. You talk about how you used to hide, chlorine and shit.
Oh, my dick. Yeah, when I was in the halfway house. Fuck yeah.
What does that mean?
I had to try. No, I couldn't beat the drug test. Everybody kept saying you drink Serto, you drink this other shit, cranberry juice. I tried everything, and they kept coming up hot. So I said, "Fuck, I gotta take extreme measures." So I started drinking white vinegar with a bottle of fucking Gatorade every Monday. That didn't work. So I finally said, "Fuck this shit," and I'm uncircumcised, so I would crush pool cleaner and put it on my fucking dick, and then I would put like a rubber band at the end and shit. Come on, dog. You know Uncle Joey's a professional.
My man.
Come on, dog.
My man.
Put a rubber band that motherfucker, and as soon as I went in, I pulled the skin back. The chlorine fell in the cup, and it would start rattling. One time I put Drano in that motherfucker. I still got Drano scars on my dick, guys.
You said that you were like it's still.
I still got Drano scars on my dick. But at that point, it became a game for me to fuck.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't
Like
figure out what did we do.
what?
And that's how we came to the one-legged story.
Yeah.
She was a probation officer. They finally said, "You got to go in there with him." And I would whack off in the car a little bit and get my dick half hard and then sprinkle it and then cover it and then go in and I'd show her my dick. "What do you think about this cannon?" And she, "I don't even want to look, Joey." And they had a mirror in front of me. They couldn't figure it out. And a guy before me had the whole contraption, the hot water bottle.
Yeah, it goes down your tube.
And the hot water bottle broke. While he was testing, the motherfucking lid fell off. He's like, ah! So I wasn't doing the hot water trick because they were going to throw me back in jail if I came up with a hot.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not around with you motherfuckers. So I put chlorine, Drano on my dick. I did everything. That probation officer came to my house maybe 12 times that year. You know how many times I opened the door? He would call the sheriff's office. "We're waiting out here for you 2 hours." After 2 hours, they would leave. I'd come down off the coke and look outside. All right. It was, and then I didn't see her. They kicked me off. I was working at a car wash and I met a DA and I told him, "You got to get me off probation." He goes, "Send me a motion." So I didn't see her anymore. And 3 years later, I'm into comedy. And I'm delivering Chinese food, selling coke. At the same time, I'm delivering Chinese, selling coke. You know, I would get so many calls at the restaurant that they would go, "How come everybody called for you? Nobody called delivery no more." So I told everybody, "You got to order an egg roll. You got to order something, guys. You can't just call the Chinese restaurant." Fuck! They're getting calls all night.
Fried
Oh,
rice,
God.
come on.
No spare rib. Want to come to Joey. So I went to deliver her food. I didn't even know it was her, to be honest with you. She knocked on the door. I knocked on the door and she opened it. I'm like, "Who the is this?" And she was like, "Oh my God, it's so great to see you." And she was always hot, but she had a bum leg. Like her leg, she had like a little jiggly leg, you know, so nobody hit on her because of the jiggly leg. But while I'm there, she's looking at me and I'm talking to her. And we always kind of like messed around. I showed her my dick like 10 times, you know. I had her already in a psychological effect. Nobody would give a dick. So we're there. We started swapping spit. I'm feeling her, and it felt like a oven. And I pulled the pants off, but I didn't want to pull the pants off with the bum leg.
You left it on
because
the
I
leg.
didn't want to know if she got shot in Vietnam or not. So I just wanted to eat a monkey in peace. I'm gonna take a piss. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Are we on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't even fucking know. I thought we've been hanging out here talking shit for an hour.
Over 45 minutes, Joey.
I don't know nothing.
You want the bathroom?
Nah, fuck it now. I thought we were just talking shit. You guys didn't even give me the mic or nothing. I feel bad.
We're good. We got it going, man. That is so funny. That pretty much sums you up right there, I feel like.
What's that?
Like you just, I don't even think it's, of course, you know, you're it's work and you're trying, but it just comes naturally to you. This whole comedy and shooting the shit, talking is just like who you are.
I love it.
Yeah. I mean, podcasting must have been a great fucking revelation for you. Because, I mean, you're born for that sort of shit.
Believe it or not, I was waiting for podcasting.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how it was going to show its ugly head.
Mm-hmm.
Because what made it, my life without, my comedy career without telling these stories made me a mediocre comic. I always knew I would watch HBO boxing. How many times do you watch a boxing? You're like, look at this fuck. Dude. I don't like this motherfucker. But then he's married. He's got 3 kids.
Mhm.
His mother lives with him.
Mhm.
You know, he's a fucking. And now you get to learn more about the guy. And you're like, wow, maybe I'll watch him now.
Yeah,
I always knew if I could tell my story
People. Yeah.
that would be it.
Yep.
That's a great
So-
point.
Dude,
Yeah.
I always
and
knew
that's
that.
also the problem with the new world. Like, nobody takes a second to learn anything about anybody other than read like one tweet or hear one story. Because like everybody's got their shit that they're dealing with, or a reason why something went wrong, or the reason why they did something bad, or whatever. But nobody takes the time or cares.
Once
But-
you learn, like, you can learn one thing, like, I don't like them. Then the second thing, no matter what it is, you're like, oh, they're human.
Yeah,
And it's
right.
like-
yeah,
That's it.
humanizes
They're
you.
It's a
human.
lot easier.
And then,
They
I
made
mean, you
mistakes.
are like the
and they said shit. Now I know why they said that shit. Now I know what they were protecting.
Mhm.
Now I know why they
Why they
spoke
do what
like
they
that.
do,
Why
yeah,
I know what you
yeah.
do. It makes it a lot easier. If I told you a story about kidnapping, we would laugh, and then you'd walk out of here and go, "Ugh." If I told you any of these stories individually on the first or second meeting, you would leave and go, I don't know about that fuck. But if you read that beginning,
Right.
if you
everything
read
about
that
your upbringing,
beginning,
your father and your mother,
Harlem
and, your sister,
and all that
yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
I was like a confused kid. Then I went up to 148th Street. Those Irish motherfuckers were not confused. Those Puerto Rican and Irish kids and black kids
Bro.
were not confused on 148th Street. Their parents were poor, but they didn't cry.
Yeah.
They were out there hustling every day, shoveling snow, breaking windows, because they were shaking down. They were 8 and 9.
Yeah, I was surprised to read that you said you were like growing up, you were very sickly and kind
Sickly,
of like you got
sickly.
pushed
After my
around a little
father
bit.
died, it's funny. My
Yeah.
neighbor, Joey, little kid, he's 7, and he came to the game Saturday, and his mother said he had strep throat and his temperature, and she goes, "We just had this problem 3 weeks ago," and I'm like, "Man, that sounds like
Sounds
me."
familiar.
Hospital
Because I would have thought
visits.
from Jump Street you were like the tough kid on the block and all that.
No, man. After my dad died, that took a
Okay.
lot. That takes a lot out
Yeah.
of you. You
You,
don't.
you also you gloss over on page 1. You said you and your mom made it out of Cuba, but your sister didn't.
My sister did.
That was just like a sentence.
My
That
sis-
right there is gonna give you went through a lot of shit as a
My
young
sister
kid.
died a year ago
Oh, sorry to hear that.
in Cuba.
Shit.
I got the
Stayed-
call while I was doing a podcast that
No
she
way.
had died. I got the call like 2 weeks earlier that she was sick
Mhm.
and that they didn't think she was going to make it, but they called and she died. I never saw her again after Cuba in 1966.
Oh, man.
No way. you
And-
forgot about
crazy.
that.
And that's my mother's backstory. That's what killed her.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, that-
she was met every day, smoking dope and drinking at the bar. But 2 in the morning, it came back to your daughter. When you're out
Yeah.
and you're
Oh.
partying, you forget about your kids and all your
Yeah.
problems. It's when you walk in that door at midnight and you're like,
Ugh.
now the four
Can't even
walls creep
imagine.
up on you.
Yeah,
And so
big time.
eventually it just got to her and got to her. She lost the bar, and I saw somebody die right in front of my eyes, but it wasn't immediately. Looking back, it's a small process. It
Sure.
was a process. Like I saw it. So now if I catch that again, I'll intervene now.
Mhm.
It's everything. Like I just saw her spirit break,
Mhm.
and so I got to learn a lot from that.